welcome back. Oh my gosh, it's been like a couple of days. It's been like a little brief pause between our last episode. We took a little mini hiatus,
Yeah,
wouldn't
it's
you
only been
say?
like week tops, maybe, I'd say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a week. We're like kind of behind on episodes and stuff like that
I think
usually, so this
we're
wasn't
pretty
all that
good on it.
bad.
I think we usually post on time.
Yeah,
We've never been behind or anything. So I think this is allowed a little
yeah.
bit
I
of
mean,
leeway with this
it
mini
was just like
break that we've done.
holidays and
Yeah.
stuff,
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It hasn't been almost 2
Yeah.
years.
Well, we're pretty frequent with these
But
types of things.
yeah. Uh we're back from our very brief hiatus. Welcome back to Covenant Talk, everybody. I'm Jesse Chisholm.
And I'm JD Gonzalez.
Yeah. And we're back.
Dude, welcome to Covenant Talk.
Welcome
Uh,
to Covenant Talk.
I'd like to think that we in the
Um,
MCU we kind of just blipped out for a second and then we just blipped back in.
it's funny. Back when that came out, it wasn't like an official thing, but everyone was using it to see. It was just like a random generator that would tell you if you got blipped or
Oh
not.
yeah, I remember that.
And I did get blipped.
What's the website? I want to look it up right now.
So,
The blip. Oh, did I get blipped?
I don't
That's
know.
right.
Yeah, did I get blipped? Yeah.
Let me look it up real quick.
You
Yeah.
gonna we're gonna find out if you
Did
got
Thanos
blipped.
kill you? You were spared by Thanos, so I lived. So you got blipped and I
Ooh.
got
So you
yeah.
lived. You just waited for me to come
Yeah,
back.
I literally waited by your
You,
bedside.
yeah,
I put flowers out
yeah.
for you.
Because you knew I'd come back, and you didn't want to do an episode without me, because that means you would have had to like put stuff together, and you weren't gonna do
It's
that.
true. Honestly, I was only waiting
You're
because I
quite
didn't want
useless.
you to come back. I had a sword in
That's
my hand.
fair. You're ready to stab
I
me the
was
second I came
I was
back.
prepared for your return, ready to put a stake in
That's
your heart.
good. But here we both are
Doing another episode. We overcame our differences
doing another episode.
just for
Yeah,
this
we
one
set aside some
episode.
stuff. Yeah, we got the band back together. Right with the second we stop recording this, when I hit end record on this radio talking bear thing that's capturing our audio, we're
The
never seeing
boys are
each other
back
again.
in
That's it.
town.
We disband.
Oh,
So yeah, hopefully you enjoy what will be our last episode of Covenant
yeah.
Talk.
It was a good long
No kidding.
run.
No kidding.
Good.
We're back. We're back, everybody. And as you can see by now,
You can't see us.
freaking like 3 minutes into this video, yeah, you can't see us. We started doing some upgrades and whatnot. Basically, someone got married,
What is
and the drive to get to my place to record was now it went from like 20-ish minutes to about
I got
45-ish
married like
minutes.
before when we were
And
doing podcasts.
I know, but what I'm saying is your drive got a lot longer and stuff
Fair
like
enough.
that. Holidays kind of creeped
Yeah.
up on us,
And then the
and
world kind of fell
we
apart,
just
imploded with
yeah, for a
yeah,
second time.
new wars and diseases and all that lovely stuff, which is exactly what we're going to talk about today. We're only talking about politics on this podcast.
It's
Politics
true.
and what else do people not like? I was going to say something, but then I don't want to offend people. So,
Yeah, yeah. I was
kidding,
waiting. I,
kidding.
I figured if I waited long enough, you'd trip up and just ruin it. You give me
We're
stuff
gonna
to edit out, and I would
get
hate it.
canceled back on our first episode back.
I mean, people can't cancel us because nobody watches us.
True.
It's a lose-lose
I'll cancel myself.
situation.
I'll leave. See you guys.
Cancel. So dumb.
Anyways, I'm back.
Anyway, we decided to bring it back, but we didn't want to just, we decided we weren't going to be in a hot, 100-degree
Yeah.
room, and, driving the 50 minutes it takes to get to my place, setting up all that stuff in that 100-degree room, and, always having a crooked camera angle or something like that, and realizing it, after
It's
we've already
crooked.
recorded. We decided we were just going to do this from the comfort of our own
This is what we
homes.
did. We uploaded our consciousness to the internet. We now are
It's true.
AI just recording our thoughts to the interwebs. I don't have a body no more,
Suck my
and
balls, Jarvis.
there you go. So we're just out there in the ether.
In the ether, you would say?
Yeah, I literally just said that. So yes, I would say that because I
Speaking of
just said that.
ether,
No, we're not talking about that.
speaking of ether, you can see him right now. That's crazy. You can also see Crossbones, and they're moving.
They
Isn't that
are
freaking
moving
wild?
for the first time
We
ever.
hired an animator, a beautiful, amazing man named Roman
Yep.
Gubsky, JD's artist for
Yep.
Crossbones. And we hired him to do a nice little looping animation because we figured, as long as we're not going to be seeing each other in person, we just don't want to see each other at all when
Exactly.
we're doing this. And we figured we'd spare you guys. We didn't want you guys seeing our face either. So you're welcome. You know.
We spared you that
But yeah,
that miserable curse of looking at our beautiful faces. Because let's face it,
it's
if you had
true.
to look at
And
us
now you
any
just get to look
longer,
at amazing artwork.
your faces would have melted like the Last Crusade. Did you ever watch that movie?
Good reference. Yeah, of course I've watched that
I mean,
movie.
there's people
Who
who
hasn't
haven't
watched
seen
that movie?
there's people who haven't seen Star Wars. There's people who haven't seen Lord of
It's
the
true.
Rings. My wife is one of those people, to throw her
Oh
under
my
the
gosh,
bus,
your wife hasn't seen Lord of the Rings?
or Star Wars.
Oh my
I
gosh, what's
doubt that
wrong with you?
she's seen Last Crusade too. So
Take a day and show her Lord of the Rings, please.
that'll take more than a day. That'll probably take like
What
at least 2 days. Those movies are long.
what does she watch? To paint dry?
Yeah, it's what we do in our spare time. But anyway, so we
She
have a
seems like a rom-com kind of gal.
beautiful animation for you guys to look at. And yeah,
We
I'm
do.
very proud with how it looks right now. With Crossbone's finger, it's bending and Ether throwing fireballs and rocks and snowballs and a light in the back that flickers
Yeah.
all together.
If
So
you notice, it's
beautiful,
kind of
and we're
like our
so
old
proud of it.
set too.
It is our old set.
Yeah. He even drew my little stupid skull Viking mug. And he had the
Yeah,
little beautiful burlap head in the background.
got my laptop on there, our mics, which
And your
I'm still
mug
using.
full of mystery.
Yeah, my mug full of mystery. I think what was in our mugs? It was to pull back behind the curtain.
Uh,
We used to drink. It
it would
wasn't coffee or
vary.
tea. What was it?
Sometimes it would be water, sometimes it would be like a crystal light water, sometimes it was Arizona tea, sometimes it was soda.
Nice.
And yeah.
Moonshine?
Aren't you guys glad we're back? We're talking about literally nothing important.
For 8 whole minutes. Oh, man, I'm
Yep.
so glad we're back.
Oh, and everyone else is glad we're back too.
No,
I'm glad. Are you happy? Are you gripping the edge of your seat? The four people that watch this,
I'm sure
two
they're
of them being family members.
pissing their pants right now. They're just, wow,
Uh,
can't believe it. This is revolutionary here.
I know.
2 men talking on a podcast. It's never been done before. So
It's true.
revolutionary.
It's true.
But hey, we got animation. That's what matters. We also have a new intro.
Yeah, we
Looks
do.
nifty.
With a nice
A
no
new,
song
yeah, new jingle.
that
And
really fits us.
yeah, it really does. And if you listen all the way to the end, or you can just skip ahead, you can see our outro and our little outro jingle. It's nice. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
Listen to
I know.
that. Can't
There it
hear it right
is.
now, but there
Quick,
it is.
click to the end and then click
There you
back.
go. Wow. Look at
And
that.
welcome
Welcome
back. Wow,
back.
wasn't that awesome?
Yeah, you just
It's a nice
traveled through
song. It's a
time.
catchy jingle.
Yeah, it's nice and
Very
relaxing. Very,
whatever the kids call it, lofi,
yeah,
lo-fi.
lo-fi ish. Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like I'm watching Adult Swim.
yeah, like the yeah,
I just woke up on a Saturday night and it's like midnight and they're just playing their little lo-fi with their weird little in between show things that they show.
yeah. And they'll
What
show
would you
like a
call
random
those?
fact.
Yeah, what would you call those?
Intermission.
Intermission,
Uh-uh.
yeah, and nifty little intermission with the lo-fi music, and then the AS. Let's come up with one right now.
Yeah.
Did you know
That was actually a
that?
trend for a while. People were like,
Oh,
they would like film like I don't know,
okay, but
they film like trash rolling down stairs, and then it would play the stupid their
how'd they get
song.
footage of us
Huh?
walking? I said, how did they get footage of us walking down the stairs?
So stupid.
I don't know. Let's come up with one of those little things, little phrases. There's a little.
Oh, one of their
Yeah,
little
yeah. Let's come up with
phrases.
one right now. So they're just like little
Uh,
facts, factoids. Right. So did you know
yeah.
that
Did you
every
know that there's
60
18
seconds?
rainforest cafes in the United States?
I didn't. There's only 18.
Yeah.
Did you make that
Now
up?
you know. Nope.
Did you know that there are 60 seconds in a minute, and every minute passes, another second happens, and I don't know what the heck I'm talking about. Let me come up with a little.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's move on to our next topic.
Mine was better. Just want everyone to know that.
No, they liked mine better.
I think they
All right,
like
I got
mine
a
better because
factoid
they're
right
going,
here.
wow, is there really 18? You're
Here
gonna what?
here's uh wait
Yeah, I'm waiting.
wait
Did you Google random facts? Oh, here we go.
no no
This is
no
this
I
is the
didn't.
pleasure of it now. We are at our computers. We're no longer in that room that has very poor internet connection. We're at our own computers in our own homes.
The bumblebee
And
bat is the world's smallest mammal. Did you? I knew that off the cuff. I didn't have to look that up.
did you really? That's
No,
incredible. I'm gonna go ahead
no,
and look up what a bumblebee bat looks like because that sounds awesome. Oh, that's adorable. Wow.
yeah, I knew that off the top of my head.
Can we make like the bumblebee bat a character in DC?
No, no.
Like just like a
Did
little
you know the
person but in a
eye of
Batman
an
costume?
ostrich is bigger than its brain?
That's incredible. All right, so now that we've lost the four of
Majority of our
the four viewers, let's move on to a topic that's not random facts. I'm also not going to edit together one of those Adult Swim clips with the useless
Come
facts we just gave
on,
you.
why not?
You can if you want. I've done
Yeah,
enough editing.
I'm good. Anyways, moving on. So, how about that in
So a lot of
politics?
stuff came out in 2021, and we weren't doing any recordings, and we missed all that. Nothing really important came out as far as I'm aware, and we can just move on. And so we can back on the show back when our last episode a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
We would talk about pop culture stuff that came out, shows and movies and whatnot. And we're gonna keep up that trend. So today we're gonna go over three shows that are
Nice.
relatively new and came out and whatnot,
Yeah.
and
I
we'll
mean, one of them
do
literally
our
just came
absolute
out.
best to yeah. One of them came out like 3 days ago,
Yeah. So relatively
and
new.
we'll do our best to stay on top of it this time, and not have episodes where we record a movie that just came or talk about a movie that just came out, and then a month later we upload that episode when it doesn't matter
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that
We're gonna
movie
avoid that. Yeah.
that came out like 2 months ago.
I had
Anyway, so
to
the
when I
first
was
show we're
making
going to
this
talk about.
intro.
Oh,
When I was no, shut up. When I was making this
okay.
intro, I was clipping through our old videos and stuff like that, and
Uh,
man, did I go on a tangent for that blood was it bloodshot? Yeah,
yes,
with that bloodshot movie.
yes,
I went on a tangent.
because we literally watched that minutes before the podcast.
Right, but watching it back again, I was like, oh yeah, that movie. And that's how it must have
And
felt for all of our viewers going like, what?
yeah, we watched that movie like as it came out, like on video, which comes out a month after theaters, somewhere around
Yep.
there. So it was a month after theaters, and then we recorded it, and then we posted it probably a month after we recorded it. So it was probably like
Yep.
2 to 3 months after that movie came out. And it was one of those movies that nobody cares about. Even mentioning it now, people are probably thinking, what on earth are they talking about? Blood, what is it?
Bloodshot.
Bloodshot. I was about to say Blood
Bloodshot.
Sport, which is
Nope.
which is
Bloodshot with Vin
was
Diesel,
yeah, Vin Diesel.
Mr.
That's
Family
right. I forgot.
himself.
I even forgot who played him. So
Let's
thank you for
watch it
bringing
after
that up.
this.
Let's do it. Let's put it on right now.
All right, absolutely. It's a date.
Just no. Let's just put it on in the middle of this episode and just have our audience just watch the entire movie and then jump right back into the podcast.
I feel like we can get away with that. I feel like no one would care.
Yeah,
Like,
might
who's
as
gonna
well.
come after us? Vin Diesel?
Yeah, I was gonna say
I doubt it.
Vin Diesel with white paint on and a big red dot in his
Just
chest.
kicks down my door. Anyway, we're
Family,
doing the thing again where
family.
we talk about stuff that happened years ago, and that's my
This
fault.
was literally 2 to 3 years ago. This stupid movie came out. Anyway, so the first show that we're going to talk about is
Yeah,
Obi-Wan Kenobi Wan.
it was just called
So this
Kenobi, but
this
whatever.
no, that's his full name, Obi-Wan Kenobi Wan. That's his full legal name. If you look on his driver's license, that's what it says. But anyway,
I
so
believe it's
this show
Obi-Wan Ben
ended
Larry
about
Kenobi.
no. So this show ended probably about 2 weeks ago. We're recording this on the 3rd of
Yeah,
July, and it probably ended like somewhere in the near the midpoint of June. So it's been a little while since this stupid show came out.
it's true.
Um, so yeah,
Well,
what
I
are
was
you
about to ask
thinking,
what
huh?
you thought
Huh?
of it, but you just called it a stupid show, so I think I've
No, I
already
mean
kind of gauged what you thought of it.
no, I might love it. You know,
Did you or did you
I
not
might
just call it a
call.
stupid show?
I mean, I might call things that I love stupid. You know, like
Aw, you
I might
do love
call.
me.
No, I hate you, and you're just stupid regardless. But anyway, so what are your thoughts about this stupid show?
So I'll start off with just saying I'm not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah,
I
neither am I, but you're
uh,
even less so than I am.
yeah, it's not to say that I don't like Star Wars. It's just a thing where I've never really cared about it. It's very
Yeah,
much like a. It's hard for me to get into Star Wars, like all the lore and
is there
stuff
a
like that.
reason?
It's just I don't know. It just never really clicked with me. It was never
Who
really.
hurt you?
Who hurt me? Let's see. His name's Jar Jar Binks.
What do you mean?
Best character right there.
Misa, love you.
Don't
You
ever
you
talk to
don't
me like
find
that
that
again.
hilarious? You don't find that absolutely hilarious
I do not.
at
However, I
all?
was wishing that he would be in Kenobi. I would
Well,
like to know his fate.
well, well, yeah. What would his role be in Kenobi?
I don't know. Helping Jedi escape.
You know what? I could see that.
I could see it
Yeah, I
too.
can see that.
In that little refugee camp, I could have pictured it, but they
Yeah,
missed out on it.
he could have been the Sith Lord that everyone says that he is.
So stupid. Could have
But
been the
anyway, so what are your
11th
thoughts?
brother.
What do you the 11th brother? He could have been no, he could he could have
The
been the
Grand Inquisitor.
Inquisitor, the Grand Inquisitor
Grand
who
Inquisitor
pulls back
Jar
the hood.
Jar.
There you go. Kind of like that idea. Let's make it happen. Disney,
All right.
make it happen. I mean,
Yeah.
you've been
It's
doing all
much
sorts of
better.
things with Star Wars, and they've been all so fantastic. I mean, the sequels, my favorite movie, Disney. So,
Everyone's favorite.
might as well make it happen. Yeah, I don't think anyone really looks to the prequels or even the originals anymore. I think they might see that as hot garbage now in comparison to the sequels. I think the sequels are a modern classic.
Yeah, I agree. So many
Anyway, so
quotable
what are your thoughts on
lines.
Obi-Wan Kenobi?
Um, so going into it, I wanted to watch it pretty much just for Kenobi. Like one thing I did
What
like
about
about Star
Anakin?
Wars was Kenobi, and yes, I like Anakin, and hearing that Christian Chin was returning, that was cool. I thought it was cool.
Yeah.
I was excited for it. I didn't like so when the trailer came out. I remember watching the trailer and just kind of going like, "Wow, this looks really boring." And
Yeah? And did it meet
by
your
golly,
expectations or
I
what?
was right. It was really boring.
Oh, no.
I'll start off with that. It was very boring.
Yeah? What?
Most episodes I would just kind of like space out, kind of start doing something else, like kind of half watching it and stuff like that. It was just a lot of the characters you didn't care too much about.
Yeah.
With it being in between the prequels and the original, it was just supposed to kind of fill in gaps. That's usually what
Yeah.
stuff like that does.
Right.
But a lot of the gaps they were filling in was just stuff I did not care about, and I
Yep.
already don't care about Star Wars, so that's kind of a lot of stuff. And
Yeah.
yeah, I there were parts of it I liked, but pretty much the only thing I can really that stood out and I remembered well by the end of it was the final fight between
Yeah. I was
Kenobi
about to
and
say.
Vader.
So let's put it this way. What would you put it on a rating of 1 to 10? Let's do this with all the shows we're going to talk about today. Let's put it on a rating of 1 to 10. What is your rating of 1 to 10? And then we'll jump into my thoughts about this show.
Give it a 6.
You give it a 6?
I give it a
That's
6
fair.
or a 5.5.
That's a fair rating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you?
But my thoughts. Okay, so I think yeah, I think I feel the same. We were talking about this outside of the podcast, but with these characters like Luke and Leia and Vader and even Obi-Wan, obviously, it's his show.
Yeah.
We already know what's going to happen.
Yep.
There was not a lot of risk or really, danger that these characters were in. Like
Mhm.
in the last episode where, or even just the first couple episodes where Leia is taken or whatever, she's, oh no, she's lost, she's
Right.
taken by whoever, and at the end, Luke, oh no, Luke is being hunted, and it's like, well, I've watched the originals already. I know what happens to these characters. I know that they live. And so like watching it, it's like there's not really the way that I felt about it is there wasn't really a need for this show. There
I
wasn't
agree.
really a big whole need for it. I just feel like it was kind of like I was watching those those episodes on a TV show where it's just like, I mean, they're literally called fillers.
Yeah.
It's just to fill space. I felt like that's what I was watching. Like if this show came out during that time period of in between the originals and the prequels, like maybe if it came out in the 80s or the 90s or whenever, even the early 2000s before the prequels, it would have been like, oh, this is nice, it's cool, but it just it just felt like one big filler. There again, like there were things that I liked. Obviously, the big fight between Vader and Obi-Wan, that was awesome,
Yeah.
that was really cool. And then I also really liked in episode 2 of the show where it was almost like, a John Wick situation where Obi-Wan was in this big city, and I really liked that planet. I think that planet was awesome. I don't remember the name of it, but I thought it was really cool. Big giant city planet thing, and it was neon and very cyberpunk esque. I thought that was cool, and it was just pretty much Obi-Wan in this John Wick situation where it's like he was facing all these assassins and stuff like that. I thought that was cool. I think that if the show was more of that and less of trying to introduce new characters that we don't care about, I think it would have been a lot better. But it's hard with these characters in this time period that they put it in because it's like I already know. I already know what's going to happen. There's no risk, there's no danger, there's nothing really new for these characters that like I don't need to see. So, I mean, I doubt that we're going to get a season 2. If I were to put a rating on it, I would probably
Of course there's
what?
not gonna be a season
What are you
2.
laughing at, huh? I mean, they were discussing it, and even Ewan McGregor said, "I hope that we get a season 2," which I'm
What would
pretty sure
it
he's just
do?
saying that to obviously promote the show. They would talk about how him and Luke, he watches them from a distance again. I
Yeah, there's no more
guess
content.
I
They
don't
ran
know.
out.
No, yeah, no. So if I were to put a number on it between 1 and 10, I would probably give it probably a 5.
Fair enough.
With the most redeeming things, obviously Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen, and the
Yep.
fight. That was pretty much it.
I uh
That's yeah, that's
I
literally
agree.
pretty much it. Even with here's the thing, is even with the Grand Inquisitor and like the whole thing where it's like, oh, he died.
Oh yeah.
Like even that wasn't even like a surprise because in I think it's in Star Wars Rebels, he's like the main one of the main villains, which is after the show. So it's like, oh, he got killed, quote unquote. But then it's like you're watching this other show, Star Wars Rebels, and it's like, well, here he is in the future,
He's
still
fine.
alive. So it's just, yeah, it was really, really dumb. So
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
if
it
they
was
were
just
to
supposed
do
to fill in the
another
blanks.
Star Wars, hey,
Sorry.
I was talking.
Go ahead
I
if
was
they're doing
talking.
another Star Wars.
Excuse you. If they were going to do another Star Wars, show with any of these characters, I think it would be smart, but obviously Disney, they're so smart in handling the, Star Wars franchise. I think everyone will acknowledge that they're so smart in handling it. Um, I think that they should have a Vader show.
Hmm,
I think that would be awesome because Vader had went on to go and have his own adventures outside of the original series. He went to even with the comics. There's so much good Vader stuff out there that why not just make a show out of it? And here's what they could do with it. They could even make it like an anthology thing where they don't even necessarily need to follow like a storyline. They can just have plop him in different storylines here and there, just showing him going around being the outer space serial killer that he is, killing people and taking names. I think that would be smart because that's pretty much everyone's
it's true.
favorite character, anyways. But are they going to do that?
Probably not.
I doubt it. So
Just
that's just
because
my 2 cents.
your protagonist would be a villain, and Disney doesn't really like doing that.
I mean, they can do what DC did to Black Adam.
Why? Like make him
He's not a
no.
yeah, where it's like he's. I mean, the way that they're portraying him in the trailers for that movie make him seem like a less of an anti-hero, more of a
Yeah.
hero. I don't know. Whatever, we'll see. Anyways,
Yeah.
that's beside the point.
I would love a Vader show. That'd be really cool. I mean, I like I said, I don't like the Star
Yeah,
Wars, or I don't necessarily care for the Star Wars movies, but Rogue One was definitely my favorite, and mostly for that last scene of Vader just destroying
that scene.
everybody.
Yeah,
So good. So good.
yeah, that was good.
But yeah, if they
That
were
was
to do
really
a
really
show
good.
about him, then they would have
Definitely
to
the best
like
part of that
it would
movie.
literally just be like if it was an anthology, it'd be like him going up to some rebel base or something like that. It would be from his perspective of him just killing everyone in the
Yeah.
base and moving on.
Actually, I think it would be cool if it was from like almost like a horror thing, where
Like
it's
a
like from the
victim's
perspective,
perspective.
yeah, victim's perspective. I think that would be awesome because
Man,
I
you know
mean,
Disney's not gonna do that.
I still I think it would be great, because essentially we were talking about this again outside the podcast. I mean, Vader is essentially like a slasher, an outer space slasher. I mean, he's got like the look for it without his helmet on. He's ugly, he's
Yeah.
extremely scarred. He
Yep.
has that slow walk that he does that every, slasher does where they walk
Yep.
really slowly. And, even the breathing is creepy, almost like what's that Jason, that little,
Oh,
type of
the
thing.
yes, the mama.
Yeah, yeah, that. He's essentially a slasher, so I think it would be great to have like almost like a victim's perspective horror, thing from Vader.
I'd
My
like
main
that.
concern with that is James Earl Jones. Dude's old. Dude is so old. I looked up
Yeah.
how old he is now. You want to give a guess how old James Earl
I wanna say like
Jones is?
91.
Wow. Did you look that up?
I did not. Did I get it right?
There's no way you knew that. There's
I
no
I
way you knew that
swear
off
to
the
you I
cuff.
didn't look it up. I was gonna say 93 and I
You're
was
a
like,
liar.
I swear to you. My
Yes, he's
screen in
91. He's
Discord and the Bumblebee bat.
extremely old. He's extremely old.
Yeah,
And yet
well.
I'm pretty sure yeah, he did. He voiced Vader in the show. So dude's old. I don't know if they're gonna do anything with Vader, with any new projects, but yeah, dude's gonna.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I hate to say it, but he's
Did
kind of
he
getting there.
record in Kenobi?
He did, yeah. He was Vader. He played the voice of
Well,
Vader.
obviously, he would have played Vader. Well, I just didn't know if they used somebody else for Kenobi just because.
Nah, no, he played the voice of him in Kenobi,
I still
which
think
is
he would have
crazy.
made a cool
I mean,
dark
he
side.
still sounds that too. Yeah. But he still sounds exactly how he sounds, even like at 91 years old. He still sounds exactly like Vader, which is crazy to me.
That
Dude's
is
got
pretty
some
cool.
pipes.
Yeah.
But anyways,
Yeah.
those are my 2 cents on Star Wars.
On Kenobi.
Again, we're not the biggest Star Wars fans,
No.
so I mean, if you're a Star Wars fan and we offended you, did my thoughts on Vader being a slasher offend you, then too bad, get over it. I think it's great and you're dumb, so
I mean, everyone loves Kenobi, or everyone
subscribe.
loves Vader. So
Yeah. Anyways,
yeah,
so yeah, we gave it a you gave it a wet six,
I give it like a 5.5.
5.5,
Yeah.
5.5. I gave it a 5.
In a
Good
in a
mid to
show where
grade.
you already know what's going to happen to everyone, you have to make people attach to the characters that you don't know what's going to happen to them. Like in Better
Yeah.
Call Saul. I don't want to, it's very off. Well, actually,
Never
it's
seen it.
the season 6 is very current. The final season is very current. It's at its halfway point right now. You already know
Okay.
what's going to happen to Saul. You already know what's going to happen to Mike, Gus, all these characters and stuff like that. But then they introduce like characters like this guy named Nacho and Lalo, and they're super interesting. You're super like attached. You want to know what's going to happen to
Yeah.
him. You want to know what's going to happen to Saul's love interest. You want to know what's going to happen to his nemesis and stuff like that because none of these people are in Breaking Bad. So it was written so nice where you just get so attached to these characters and you have genuinely no idea what's going to happen to him.
Yeah.
But with
That's
Kenobi, it
cool. I need
was
to watch
the
that show.
characters that they introduced. You just didn't care. I didn't
True.
care
I
about the
really
third
didn't care about
sister. I
that.
didn't care about that chick that blew herself up in the cave. It was
Hala or
just so
whatever. Yeah, no.
dumb.
Yeah, when she did that, I was like shaking. I was literally shaking my head and rolling my eyes because it was literally such a
It
cliche.
was. It was really bad.
Such a cliche. I mean, literally, what? A grenade? Oh, ooh, never seen that before, Run! Oh no, she's gonna sacrifice herself with a grenade.
She
Yeah,
could have
that's
absolutely
never
made it.
been done before. Yeah, no, definitely. But I literally just thought of this off the cuff right now. I think in terms of our rating system, here's my new rating system in which we should implement.
Okay.
I think we should do it out of like CGC ratings,
Oh, okay.
like 9.5, or I guess technically 10.0 is the highest, but whatever.
Those
It's a
hardly
really,
exist.
yeah, hardly exist. So let's do it. Yeah, let's do it out of CGC ratings. So I mean, 5.0 is still a rating, so that's still my rating. 5.0.
Then I
You
give it
said a
a
5,
5.4
5.5.
then.
That doesn't exist.
Point fours?
5 point
Point fours exist.
5.5 exists. No, no,
9.4 exists, so definitely the other point fours.
no, no.
I'm staring at a
It's
9.4
so
right now. That's my
yes,
first
I
appearance of
know that
Lobo.
9.4s
But
exist, but
5.4s
everything
don't?
before nines is
Oh,
just like by fives, essentially,
gotcha.
pretty much.
Then yeah, 5.5.
So you give it a 5.5.
Literally
There you go.
nothing changed about our ratings. It's still out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little
It's
fun. It's
so
fun. It's a little
stupid.
fun we're having here. A little. It's comic related. So it's
Agreed.
fun. It's fun.
Agreed.
All right, cool. All right, so moving on. What's our next show we're gonna talk about? So Kenobi's over. Poo poo on that.
Yeah, Kenobi dead and gone. We're moving on. Uh the final part to
Just like his
Stranger
master. Is
Things, or I'm sorry, the final part to season 4 or volume 4. I'm sorry.
that what we're moving on to?
Yeah, Stranger Things
Okay,
just came
fair
out.
enough.
It was yeah. Keep in mind we will just be talking about spoilers here, and this is kind of relatively new,
Spoilers.
so I'm not going to
Yeah,
edit in
literally came out like
a
2 days ago.
a thing telling you where to skip to, I'll put it in the description. So just go ahead and scroll down, and it'll pick up on our next topic. But we're definitely going to be getting into spoilers right now. So give you some
See you
time.
later.
Give you some time. Scroll down. There it is. Go ahead and click that. All right. Stranger Things, Volume 4 finally ended. I don't necessarily know why there was a pause. I guess they were trying to, drag it out,
Yeah,
make it.
build some hype, I
I
guess.
guess.
Yeah.
I
And
but
it was yeah, whatever.
yeah.
Anyways, you go first. You tell me your thoughts and give you a
Um.
rating at the end, and then I'll go.
So with Stranger Things, I have a very like love-hate relationship. Uh.
Okay.
So I love and hate it. Season 1 was
Oh,
incredible.
wow.
I love season 1 so much. I thought season 1 was incredible. Like just everything they did with it. It was so new. It was so fresh. Like I love the
Yeah.
idea of it. I love it kind of like revived D&D for a little bit there. It was just everything
Hmm.
about it. I loved it.
Yeah.
It was just the mystery and stuff like that. It was all that I needed. And so I was so excited for season 2. And then season 2 came out. And man, season 2, in my opinion, just was very meh.
It
It
was.
was, at the end of it, I kind of shrugged my shoulders and went, well, that was something. And so then when season 3 came out, I was kind of like on the fence. And then season 3 came out, and season 3 wasn't that good. Season 3 was kind of meh. And I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm starting to develop a love-hate relationship where I need to keep watching this show because I was so in love with the first season. I needed to see it through to the end, but man,
Yeah.
am I getting tired of this show? And so by the time season 4 rolled around, same stuff. I didn't want to start
Wow.
it, but I had heard from other people that it was the final season. And so I said, well, thank God I can just finish the show and be done with it forever now. And I was in in my mind, I was so excited to be done with it forever, which kind of like shows you where I'm at with the show of just like I was happy for it
Yeah.
to be over. I
Yeah.
was gonna watch it, but I was also happy for it to just be over forever. And it was not over forever, and that
It was
angers me
not.
so much. I was so mad by the end of it. I was just like, "Wait, no, 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 no! You're supposed to wrap it up. Like, why didn't they kill him? What's no, 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 no!" Oh!
I mean, I feel like that's your fault. I feel like it was pretty common knowledge that there was going to be
I
a
talked to
fifth
five
and
different
final season.
people, and they were all like, "Yup, it's the final season." I'm like, "Cool, I'll watch it."
Oh, well, those people suck, and you suck too. So there's that. But yeah, I mean, what you think though? I mean, we're not talking about seasons 1 through 3. We're talking about season 4. What were your thoughts on season 4?
um, I like season 4 a lot. I thought it was really good. Again, with this show, it's usually the writing that kind of drags me down at some parts. The actors and
Mm,
the characters are always just so like perfect for me. The actors do an amazing, phenomenal job. Each of them. There's not like a character
yeah.
where I'm just like meh. Like each character, even if I hate this character, I'm like they're doing so good at like this character. Like I hated the bully or the I guess he wasn't a bully. I hated the jock.
Steve?
What was his name?
Oh, the one who's Chrissy's
Yeah,
boyfriend.
the psychopath.
I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember.
It goes to show you that maybe I'm full of garbage here, and because I just talked
Yeah,
about
you
how
probably
great
are.
these characters are, and now I can't remember.
Exactly.
But like even when you're just like, oh, I hate this character so much, it's like, yeah, that means they're doing their job. It's a really good character.
True. I did hate him.
Yeah, I hated them so much, but it was great. Uh,
Yeah.
I loved Vecna. I thought all that stuff was really cool. It was finally nice to have a villain that wasn't just a roaring monster.
Smoke machine, smoke
Yeah,
monster.
exactly. It was nice having a villain that could talk and intimidate people and just be like a
Yeah.
slasher kind of deal. And I think
Yeah.
that's what this show really needed at this point.
Yeah.
Um, yeah,
Like
I
an
like Vecna a lot.
intelligent
Yeah,
villain.
and then they again we're in spoiler territory, so you've been warned already. They introduced a character that I immediately fell in love with, and he was so well written,
Yep.
and I adored him
Yes.
in every single way. And then they tore him away from me, and, and that
Yep.
kind of pissed me off.
Mm. They do that every season, though.
They do, and I was just hoping, wishing upon a star it wouldn't happen to him.
Nope,
I
it
would
did.
have rather had Steve die or somebody else.
Oh,
Yep,
really?
Eddie was my favorite
You don't like
character.
Steve?
No, I like Steve, but Eddie took over everything. Like, before this season,
It's
I
true.
would say it went Hopper, Steve, Jonathan. Those are my, like, 3.
Which Jonathan did absolutely nothing this
Yeah, that's why
season.
Jonathan kind of moved down. But Eddie took over immediately. Like, the first time they show him, like, oh, I kind of like this guy. And then, like, by the end of the episode, and it's going on with all the where she levitates in the air and stuff, and he's freaking out and all
Yeah.
that, I was just like, yep, I love him.
Chrissy, wake
Yeah,
up.
I love him.
Stupid song that's going around.
It's my favorite. People are so stupid on the internet. I love them. Um,
Do you? Do you, though?
but yeah, they took him away from me, so that really sucks. And it kind of makes me not even want to watch season 5, but I know I'm gonna, so I'm either
You
way.
have to. It's the last
Yeah,
season.
yeah,
Watch
it's
them
the
make a
last
watch
season.
them make a season 6.
Oh my
I mean,
gosh,
what more could they do after this,
I don't
though?
know. I'm waiting
They've
for the
kind
part
of
where they
they kind of
zoom out
revealed.
and it just turns out it's a D&D game.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
That'd be so
That'd be
dumb.
really
That'd
dumb,
be
but I could see it
so
happening.
dumb.
Yeah. How mad would you be if that was true?
Uh, I think I would laugh at how, like, dumb that would be at first. I think I would just, like, get a good chuckle out of it and be like, "That's so stupid." But then I think after a while I'd be like, "No, yeah, that's stupid. I hate this."
How likely do you think that would be for that to happen?
I don't think they're that dumb. The Duffer Brothers, I don't think they're that dumb. I think they know what they're doing. I think that they know that would piss everybody off.
It'd be really dumb. It would be a Game of Thrones
It
moment.
would.
It would be a game. No, it would be Lost. That's exactly what happened with Lost,
Never seen Lost.
where it was like they're never seen it either, but I know the ending
Oh,
and I know how dumb it is. They're essentially like in purgatory or whatever the entire time.
that's pretty boring.
So they died on the plane. Yeah, exactly. And so that's exactly what would be like how this would end is literally how Lost ended. It was never real and yeah, that would be stupid.
If it
Um,
does end up coming true,
but
don't blame us.
what were blame me.
Yeah, blame JD.
Thanks, Obama.
Shut up. What were you gonna say?
But in I was gonna say that what were obviously Eddie was probably your high point of the show this season rather, but what were like your like I guess favorite things that happened
Um,
since we're already crossing into the spoiler
like I said,
section?
Vecna is really cool. I like that we got to see more of the upside down now. I, I favorite
Yeah,
moment
that was cool.
overall was absolutely. I like literally screamed like "yeah" out
I already know what
loud.
it is. I already know what it
You
is.
tell me
I
what
already
it
know what it
is.
is. Is it when he was playing Master
You're
of Puppets?
absolutely right. It was
Yeah,
so fucking
I knew it.
good.
As soon as I watched it, I was like, yeah, he likes
Oh
this.
my
He loves
gosh, I
this.
was freaking out. It was
It was
so
really good though.
good.
It was really good.
Oh,
Yeah, it was awesome.
I was so excited.
That was a good scene.
I love Metallica.
Yeah, that was an absolutely beautiful scene, and I loved it
Yeah, it
too.
was perfect in every way. It was so metal. It was beautiful. That was definitely the highlight of me, but then it was ruined shortly after when they killed him. Yeah.
And he died.
And correct me or at least guide me, I would say.
Look, I
Did
choose
his
anything.
death do anything? Like
Nope.
his sacrifice?
I mean, I mean, I guess it bought some
Did it
time.
though? Because they
You
were being
know.
strangled to death by tentacles anyway.
Well, he didn't know
Right, but
that,
what I'm saying is, I feel like his
but
death meant
no,
nothing.
kind of didn't.
Right? Maybe
Kind
I'm
of didn't.
wrong.
I mean, maybe if he didn't do that, they would have went back and killed them as they were being strangled by tentacles, but
Maybe.
there's no really any way to tell. But
Or maybe they
otherwise,
would
no,
have come through the portal
there was no point.
if they can even do that. Like maybe they would have crossed over into the other world.
Maybe. I don't did they cross into the portal
I
before?
don't think so. See, that's what I was wondering is why did he run out? If he would have just climbed up, I feel like the birds would have been attacking the trailer for a little bit, trying to get through the door, and then they either would have gone up through the portal or they would have just kind of like flied off.
And trapped in the
Huh.
yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those moments where don't really know, but it
Yep,
happened.
and
And
I
he
feel
died.
like it was kind of pointless that he died, but that's just my opinion, and I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, it was the same thing when they killed Bob. Remember
Yeah,
Bob?
Bob.
He he also died for no reason.
He died pretty bad too.
Or it was like the
The
demo dogs.
Demodogs ate him
He did. He really
alive.
did. Yeah.
That was pretty
Yep.
rough.
Exactly. And he also sacrificed himself and he died for absolutely no reason.
That seems to happen with all the characters they introduce and become fan favorites only for them
Yeah.
to kill them off.
Yep. And to
Who
die
was that in season 3?
brutal deaths. That was the Lexi
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
I don't think he necessarily
What was that guy's
sacrificed
name?
himself though. What was his name?
Yes,
Alexi?
that sounds right. Yes, everyone liked the Lexi, and then he got
Alexi?
shot at the carnival or something. I can't remember.
Yep, that's yep. Season 2 and 3 are so
So, who do you think
forgettable.
they're going to introduce into season 5 only to have them become a fan favorite and then get killed off?
Danny DeVito.
Could you imagine? How great would that be? Who would he even play?
Oh man, he would be the main villain after all, behind Vecna.
He's the mind flayer.
It would be it would it would be Frank Reynolds from
I'm
Sunny.
the mind flayer, Charlie. I scoop people up and I devour them. So dumb.
I'm the trash
So
man.
stupid.
That'd be perfect. I think that would be
What,
perfect
Frank
though.
Reynolds?
I think that would be the best. Yes, I think that would be the best way to
I
end the
mean,
show. Is for it to like the town to implode. No, here's
okay,
my theory.
here we go.
Here's what I want. Okay, so for the town to implode, right? I mean, it already kind of
Yeah.
did, but it implodes more, right? And it becomes Philadelphia.
Uh-huh. So stupid. In Indiana,
And in yep,
Philadelphia
yep,
too.
somehow, somehow. And that's why, all those creatures, they're actually just
That,
Philadelphians.
yeah, it could be that. Yeah. You're insulting people from Philadelphia right now, but at the same time, I feel like they're like, heck yeah,
Ah,
we're terrible.
that's true. Go Eagles.
Philadelphia pride.
Go Birds.
So stupid.
Anyways, what was your rating out of on a
On a
CGC scale?
CGC scale, I would give season 4 of Stranger Things an 8.5. That being a
That
very
would
fine
be
plus.
there you go. Pretty good.
Yeah,
It's a good rating.
no
It's
10,
fair.
but
Very fair. Good rating. Nope. No
yeah,
9.8 or even a 9. No,
but a
yeah, I
very
think that's
fine
fair.
plus.
As for me, I think my thoughts are that it was good. I think it was definitely the best season since season 1.
Mhm.
Obviously season 1 being the
Agreed.
best. But, out of the 4, it's definitely, up there in terms like underneath, definitely underneath season 1 because season 2 and 3 were
Pretty
oof,
rough.
those were kind of a
Yeah.
chore to get through. Yeah, they were kind of a chore to get through. I think this one was very, like, kind of how we were saying, very refreshing, to the series. They brought, Vecna and they showed more of the upside down, which, they didn't really do much of in seasons
Mhm.
2 and 3. It was just always kind of like, oh, we don't go there. It's the upside down. It's scary. And it's like, well, we want
Yeah.
to see that, and like, I think it was cool for them to explore and to even get trapped in there. Obviously Vecna was a cool villain, he was very creepy and ugly. I was always kind of wondering where his wang was, if it got kind of blown off or what happened to it because he's just all flesh. So
It's
I want
true.
it's like and he's like walking around all naked, so what happened there? How does he go poop?
It could have been any
Wow.
one of those
Those are my
tentacles.
questions. That is a good point.
No,
Maybe it was just all one tentacle, and that's what
could be.
exactly what it was.
Love the tentacle.
Wrapped it around his body. Yeah.
It was a
What is that guy
Futurama
from The
reference.
Boys?
Oh, no, I was talking about Futurama.
I know. I've
Zevo.
seen it too. No,
No, you're talking about
what's the
Love
guy from
Sausage.
The Boys?
Love Sausage.
Love Sausage. Yeah. Which we won't talk about that today because you haven't watched it.
Nope.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it after the show's over.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, back to the Stranger Things. I think it was good. Definitely very refreshing. Brought new life to the show. Is it dragging on? Yes, it is. They could have easily
100%.
ended it here and now. I which I have no idea what they're gonna do now. I don't know. Like I'm guessing that the upside down is gonna be the right side up now. Might become Philadelphia, might become Detroit. You know, I don't know. So that's what my theories are. It's just gonna be the upside down is gonna be the right side up. Um, but yeah, they didn't really need to do that. Um, they could have just killed Vecna, had a happy ending. Max could have just died. You know, I don't know what they're gonna do with her. You know, that was the thing is that like even with like Eddie and Max, I mean, from the start because they from the beginning of like this season they announced that there would be deaths, and so right away I already hypothesized that it would be those two,
Yeah.
Max and Eddie. So it wasn't really all that surprising. I mean, yes, she's not. Again, we're already past the spoiler warning.
Hmm.
So yes, she's not technically dead yet, I guess. Um, but I don't know. She might as well be. Could have just easily killed her and really not done anything more with her. But she had a good character arc this season. But
Yeah.
anyways, my rating out of on a CGC scale, I would probably give it a 9, 9.0.
Very,
Very
very
good.
fine slash
Or it
near
would be
mint.
yeah, very fair and yeah. I think that's a good rating because for this season it brought new life to this um show. They did a lot of good, refreshing things, but they could have easily ended it. And I think that if they did end it, it would have been a little bit higher, maybe a 9.4 or something like that. Maybe 9.2, maybe. But yeah, I think that's my rating, 9.0.
That's fair. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
I if they could like just not do a whole nother season, if they could just wrap it up in like a movie or something like that, like a really long episode, that'd be great.
and just a single
I don't want to
episode.
watch another season. Um, but yeah,
They might do that. You
that'd
never
be
know.
nice. That would be a great way.
They might just yeah.
But
That's kind of what they did for the finale. I mean, it was like almost 3 hours
it's true.
long.
Yeah, the finale was definitely very long, and I thought it was gonna be the end, and it wasn't the end. Um,
Nope. Okay, here's a question. So, at what point did you figure this is not going to end?
when Vecna didn't die.
At what point in the show when they go downstairs and his
Yeah,
body's
when he
not
had
there?
like crawled away, I was like, "Oh no!" And I looked, and it's like there's 30 minutes left or whatever, and I'm like, "That's not enough time to
Yeah.
kill him." And yeah, that was when
Oh.
I sighed, and I was like, "Nope, nope." And like Will started talking about like I can still feel him, and I was like, "No, please, I just want it to be over."
Oh, that's so
And
funny.
it was not over.
What if the whole time it was actually Argyle?
Argyle. uh, I wonder.
You know,
Yes, I
pass
know
the
who
bucket
Argyle
on the
is. I'm
night
wondering if they're
time.
gonna kill him off next season.
Eh,
What is he even gonna
maybe.
do?
You kill off Jonathan.
I mean, I figure they're
Nothing.
gonna have to
He's
either
just
kill
him
off
and Jonathan.
Jonathan or kill off Steve.
Steve. I think Steve is more likely.
I think Steve's more likely too, and then Stacy and Jonathan will have to kind of figure out what's going on between them.
Stacy. Is that her name?
Stacy, no, I'm sorry, Nancy, Nancy.
Nancy. That's right. Nancy. Nancy Wheeler.
Yeah, she was
I didn't really care about that storyline either.
I just kind of felt bad for Jonathan.
I did too, but
Like, cause
you
she's
know,
full on like
he could have
falling
came, but
for
he didn't.
Steve,
So
and I mean, she could have just as easily went over there.
true,
It
that
would
is
have been
true.
easier if she would have went
It's
over
both their
there,
fault.
cause Steve has to look out for now her brother. Yeah,
That's true. Her brother.
yeah. She could have just gotten on a plane with her brother.
Oh man, and his brother. It's true.
I just,
Why didn't she go again?
uh, yeah, cause
Reporting,
her reporting job or whatever
reporting. She was
during
reporting.
summer, or
Oh,
sorry, during spring break.
yeah, her high school
Yeah,
paper
her high
during
school paper that
during
somehow
break.
covers murders, grotesque, brutal
You
murders.
know, that's very important. Very important to high school culture. You know, if you don't have at least one murder throughout the year, is your high school even really a high school?
No, I mean we had several murders in ours.
True. And you were the one who was murdering people.
That's true. I got away
Would
with
you
it
like to
too.
confess?
They say if you graduate, you're clear.
We got him, boys.
You're free of all your
This was
murders.
all just one big ruse to get you to confess.
Are they about
Get
to
him,
break down
boys.
my door?
Yeah.
Vin Diesel? This is gonna be
Family.
it. Shut up. I will say one thing I wanted to bring up with you about Stranger Things. Uh,
Was it strange?
the the entire time they're talking about these portals, how Vecna has to leave 4 or whatever.
Was there really a
Uh,
reason for that?
so, not really, but there was
Okay,
one at
fair
the
enough.
bottom of the lake. We established
Uh-huh.
that. I
Uh-huh.
was like, cool. There's one at the bottom of the lake. That's cool.
Uh-huh.
No one's gonna find that. There was one in the
Uh-huh.
trailer.
Uh-huh.
Um, they went and investigated that one, the little scientist group or whatever, but then they just left it.
Yeah.
They didn't set up any like guards or anything like that. They just full on dipped. They were like, "Yep, there's a portal there. We're gonna have to move you out." And then they just
Just
left it. They
left
left
it.
the trailer unlocked. Yeah, just this portal into another dimension. They left it. What I wanted to bring up, and what they didn't show until the very end of the show,
Uh-huh.
is that there's a portal just sitting in the middle of the road.
That is true. That's true.
They never talked about, like, every time they were showing this portal, I'm like, doesn't that mean there's like
Another one.
a
Yeah.
huge
In the
hole
middle of the road.
in the middle of the road, like a gross tentacle growing red hole in the middle
I
of the
mean,
road?
it's just like any other pothole, you know?
But like, okay, so you can argue, yeah, maybe they closed the road, and yeah, maybe they did close the road. But why would they go back through what's his name's trailer when
They could have just went in the road.
if right, and they wouldn't have had to climb.
It's true. It's a good point. I don't know.
They could have just poked their head through and they would have been fine. There would have been no climbing.
It's true.
Now then they
Yeah.
couldn't have distracted the bats and stuff like that, but whatever. I
Yeah.
feel like they ignored that until like the very last scene where like
When
I
they
just
like,
saw it like start cracking up on the road. I was like, "Oh yeah, there it is.
yeah, that's where
There's
that
that
kid
thing I was
died.
talking about. There's where that kid died, and
Yeah.
now there's a giant hole growing there, and no one cares."
Yeah. Yeah. Oh well. It is what it is.
It is what it is, and what it is doo doo.
What it is.
But
Anyways, moving
yes,
on. Enough of
overall,
what?
it was
What were you
good,
gonna say?
but I really don't want to watch another season, but I'm
That's too
going
bad.
to.
Yeah, that's too dang bad.
Yep. Yep.
They're gonna be force fed this show because brings in the moolah.
It
Brings
does
in
bring in the moolah.
that brings in that green paper.
Oh boy, is there a
Cause
lot of merch for this show?
yeah, there is. Cause Netflix ain't doing too hot lately.
Is it not?
No. Cause they're
No,
doing like
bummer.
different types of subscriptions and they're playing with the idea of like shutting people's
Oh yeah.
subscriptions down for those who are sharing and they're doing a subscription, they're playing with the idea of a subscription with ads, and plus they're just overall just raising the price. Yeah, they're not doing too well.
Dang.
Not good at all.
Way to go,
Too bad for
Netflix. Now
Netflix.
on to our next
Yeah,
our next Netflix show.
it's true.
Yeah.
uh,
Umbrella Academy season 3 came out. That was the
feel like this was the
what?
most overlooked show out of the three that we're talking about.
It's very
Like
true. Well, it didn't help that it
nobody
came out around these shows.
literally exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I feel like it's like the Miss Marvel of Netflix right now. You watching Miss Marvel? No?
I'm
Yeah,
not
didn't think
watching
so.
Miss Marvel. I'm waiting till it's all done because like I want to just get it over with in a day. I want to get through it all in a day. I don't want to like have a day of the week that I groan like, "Oh no, I have to watch this show today." Oh.
There's too many
So yeah.
shows that are like that.
Yeah,
But anyways, it
including when
doesn't
She-Hulk
what I'm
comes out.
but what I'm trying to say for Miss Marvel is that it literally released not even after Kenobi was done, it released during Kenobi. So number 1, you have Kenobi to compete with, which is Disney competing against Disney, mind you. Then Stranger Things, right? And then literally everything The Boys, which again we'll talk about on a different date.
Yeah,
So I feel like this is the Netflix Miss Marvel. Uh the Umbrella Academy, I mean.
which is a
So
shame.
what are your thoughts? Because you're the Umbrella Academy expert fan guy. So what are your thoughts?
I am quite a large fan of the Umbrella Academy.
Yeah,
Um,
you are.
I'm bummed
Do you
out that
like Gerard
it's
Way?
certain people. I do,
Do you
and
like
Gabriel Bach.
forget him?
What?
Do you
Oh
like
no,
My
absolutely not.
Chemical Romance? No, you don't like My Chemical Romance?
Um, I will say that I listen to a lot of Teenager.
Teenagers.
Yes, I think we actually discussed this on another episode.
Yeah, we're bringing
Maybe
that bit back. Bringing it back.
I
We're
think
gonna
I
sit here and
covered it in the
sing My Chemical Romance.
last time, where I liked that song so much because it was the only song that would play on Saints Row 2 because you had to buy more songs in order to listen to more songs, and I didn't want to spend money on songs. I wanted to spend money on guns and stuff. And so there was like two songs that would play on the radio, and one of them was Teenagers.
Fair enough. Pretty
So I was
sound
constantly
logic
listening to it.
there, my guy.
Yeah. But
But
yeah,
anyways, moving
I
on. What are your
yes.
thoughts? You're the Umbrella Academy fan expert guy. So you start us off and you tell us what your thoughts about this season 3.
Uh I enjoyed it. Season 3. It's at this point the show is so much different from the comic. Like
Uh,
just leaps and bounds different. Like it's so crazy different. But for I mean, I started with the show. I'll admit that. I saw the show before I'd even heard of the comic. But then I had read the comic and fell in love with the comic more than the show. But I would say from the show's perspective, or like from, just talking about the show as itself, I enjoyed it, but it was just kind of dragging on at a certain point
yeah, that's fair. And
where
I
I
have
was just
questions for
again,
you.
okay,
I'll wait till my turn's over, but
fair enough.
you continue telling your standpoint about the show and of course end with your rating on it.
My CGC
But
rating
anyways,
that you
continue.
came up with.
Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
I enjoyed it overall. I think a lot of the I like some of the references and stuff like that that you would only get if you read the comics and whatnot.
Mhm.
There was a cool little nod when what's his name? Stan, the kid.
Yeah.
There's a part where he's drinking a Slurpee or whatever, and then he gets Thanos snapped.
Yeah.
Uh, and he drops the Slurpee, but on the Slurpee there's a little comic book version of Kraken or number two,
Yeah.
Diego.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super cool and whatnot. I like the little things. Diego, for pretty much a lot of the scenes in the shows, when he's wearing a shirt, he's wearing a vertically striped shirt,
Okay.
which is his outfit in the comics is like a almost like a
Vertically striped shirt.
yeah, yeah. So he's always wearing that, which I think is kind of cool. Uh but yeah, it's a lot of the character. It's hard to like a lot of these characters sometimes in the show. Like, I love Luther in the comics, and I loved Luther in the show, but man, he's just so dumb. He
He
just
is.
gets worse and worse.
He's so dumb.
And
He literally is.
Diego's very hard to like, but in the comics he's like a lot sterner and stricter and stuff like that and hardcore. And in this he's just an idiot. But they all have their own charms about them. But man, if we're gonna talk about the characters that took like a complete 180,
Oh, yeah? I wonder who you
Allison.
mentioned. Oh, yeah. Oh, really?
Oh
Wow.
my gosh.
Oh,
They
I thought you were
they
gonna
just like
okay.
at some point they just decided, all right, let's make her completely unlikable. Like these first two seasons, I loved Allison. This season, oh my gosh.
She was the worst.
She was the worst.
Yeah, she did a lot of bad things.
And and in the end, I'm not even gonna put a spoiler warning for this one. I'm not even gonna put it in the description because nobody cares about this show.
True.
You've been warned. Skip ahead like 20 minutes, I guess. I'm not gonna put a thing in the description for this one.
Okay.
But she's so horrible. The entire series, she's mean to everyone. She practically sexually abuses
Eats Luther,
Luther.
yeah.
Yep, which I wouldn't call it rape, but it's
Almost.
definitely illegal what she did.
Yeah.
And in the end, she just gets her happy ending.
Yeah, she gets
Like
rewarded.
she gets rewarded. She gets to live out her life. She gets to have everything she wants.
Yep.
She was a horrible character throughout the entire show, and she gets everything she wants.
Well, not throughout the whole show, just throughout the season.
Sorry, through a whole season I meant. And she gets
Yeah.
everything she wants. And while I am glad that the rest of them got to live and stuff like that, and they now get to just continue their lives, why should she get everything she wants? Why should she get her husband from the 60s and a
However
daughter
that
that
works.
she's not supposed to be anywhere near because she used her powers on her own daughter?
That's true. That is true. Multiple
Like
times.
Luther doesn't get Sloane, but she gets everything she wants.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's very unfair.
Yeah, so
Yeah, and
she
her
definitely
to
lady.
icing on the cake, what she does essentially kills 2 of her brothers,
Yep,
and then
which
she gets rewarded for it.
is true. Which I'm really glad what they did with Hargreaves. Man, he's just he's terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, he is.
And he's pretty
That's why
much
you like
like
him.
that. It's spot on in the comics. He's just a horrible, horrible human being, and they stuck through that the entire time.
That's good. I mean, there was a point where he was almost redeemable in the middle,
But he
where
was
he was, like,
acting.
having that, yeah. Or he was more so weaning off of drugs,
That's
so he
true, I
was kinda a
guess.
little bit more, you know, I guess
Likeable.
yeah, likable, and then I guess completely weaned off of drugs and then became himself again,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
which
I don't know if this is
so
the end.
no, I don't think so.
I didn't look it up.
But I don't know if they're renewed for a season 4. Let me look it up real quick.
Okay. We have that power now. We can look it up.
But anyways, you tell me more of your thoughts, and then after that, you give me your rating, and then I'll start with my
Okay.
thoughts and questions.
I like I said, I liked it. I like what they did with a lot of the characters. I like how much Klaus has grown. I like seeing Diego kind of grow into a father figure. I like seeing Luther find an actual love interest. Uh, them having to deal with asshole Ben and stuff like that.
That's right. I forgot about him.
All that was cool, but overall, when I got to the end of it, I think if this is the last season, I'm fine with that. I just the way it ended wasn't good. Like, as in, it didn't end on like a happy note. There's still like stuff that's like left up in the air and whatnot. But
Yeah,
I don't care. Like, if it ends, if this is the last season, this is the last season. I'm okay with it. Like,
that's fair.
I move on, wipe my
So
hands of it. Oh well.
it says right here,
Uh huh.
series creator Steve Blackman said the fourth season will be the show's last season if Netflix gives them the green light. So it hasn't been
Oh,
greenlit, but there's one more season planned.
gotcha. Yeah.
So what would you give it out of 10 this last season? Or I guess on CGC rating?
Um, I'd give it a 7.5,
7.5?
which is a very
That's
fine
fair.
minus.
DF minus.
The F minus, yeah.
That's fair.
Wasn't that it was bad, but it wasn't good. There was just a lot of times where I would just space out and be like, "All right, yep, Allison's being a jerk again. Okay, yep, yep, yep. Okay, let me check my Instagram. All right, okay. Victor and what's his name? Harlan. Oh, Victor and
Harlan.
Harlan are doing their own thing. Yep, it's going nowhere. Okay, let me play Wordle real quick. It was
I
just
got you on Wordle.
you did get me on Wordle, and I love Wordle. But
Fun.
yeah, overall, again, like I said, if this is the ending, I'm fine with it. If they don't get greenlit, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, it got some sort of ending.
It did.
So I will start with my thoughts.
Okay.
So I'm not. I haven't read a single comic book of this,
Which is a
so I'm
shame.
not really that. You know, I mean, I'll get around to it eventually. Maybe we'll see. But I liked seasons 1 and 2. I thoroughly enjoyed them. Um, but this season, man, it was kind of hard for me to trudge through it.
Yeah?
There was just like kind of like what you were saying. There was like hard bits. I don't care.
Yeah.
I really don't care. And then there were just bits of it where it was like, I don't really understand why. Like the whole rivalry between the Sparrows and the Umbrellas, where they were like, "Okay, the world's ending, but we just got to figure out what this Sparrow situation. We just got to figure it out." It's like, why? Why do you need to figure this out? Like, what? Why?
The
Like,
world's ending.
literally, they saw that people. Yeah, they literally saw people, animals, and things were disappearing before their eyes, and they were like, but the sparrow situation, we got to figure out the sparrow situation. The enemy, they're our enemy. We got to figure this out quickly. This is our priority. And it's like, why? Why was that such a priority? And then it got to the point where it's like, all right, we got to overcome our differences and save the world. And it's like, well, it's kind of already too late for that.
Yeah.
Like it's already like but by the time they overcame their differences, you turn around and the city's literally on fire. Like literally the world's on fire. And it's like, wow, you guys literally wasted all this time. And I hated that. That was so annoying to me because there was never really like a reason for them to like have that rival. Sure, like yeah, like you're in our house, like oh, mom's not really a mom, she's just a robot, and
Mhm.
all this and that. But there was like never really a good reason for them to have a rivalry just on the spot. They just appeared and like let's fight, and now you're our
Yep.
rivals. I hated
Yep.
that. Um, And the thing about the Umbrella Academy, I think it's like this in the show. I mean, in the comics too, is that they leave a lot of things open. Like they give you hints of things. I
Mhm.
mean, like, ooh, like what does this mean? Like, or they hint a lot of things. And I think that was a lot of the charm of why I really like the Umbrella Academy, like in seasons 1 and 2, because it's like, oh wow, I can't wait to figure out what this is, or I can't wait to figure out what the outcome of this is. But there's just too many things, too many unopened or like unrevealed things where it's like, man, like hurry up, get to the point. Like you're losing my interest. Like the whole thing where it's like, who's this woman on the
Yeah.
moon? Like who? Like what really is Hargreaves? Like what? Like why this? Why that? Why does this function this way? Why do they never talk about these things? And it's just like it's that charm is wearing off. You need to start answering some of these questions, or you're losing me
Completely
to to,
understandable.
to some degree. Um, but no, other than that, like it was still. I'm not saying like the show sucked or the season sucked. Those were just more so my gripes. I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I liked, um, what's his name? What's his name? The drug addict. What's his
Klaus
name again?
or
Klaus.
Seance.
Yes, I really like Klaus. I liked or Seance. I really liked his transformation this season. It was really cool, for him to still be a bumbling idiot, but to have some sort of, I guess, character
Mhm.
development and development in his powers and stuff like that. That was really cool to see. I really liked that. Um, yeah, Luther was an idiot. Diego and Lila. I didn't care too much about them. I liked their son or their quote unquote son. I thought he was funny and I thought it was cool. Um, Sparrows were cool. I mean, they never really dived too deep into their characters. I mean, why was Christopher a box? Was he a human when he was born and then became a box? Like, what was his power? What was he? I don't know. I didn't answer that question. Um, and then yeah, just stuff like that. Again, like there was just too many things. But anyways, things that I liked. Obviously five is it's cool. Everyone likes five and his
Mhm.
storyline. But yeah, I mean, I think overall I liked it, but there was just too many things where it was like they never got to the point of it, and like it just there was not really a lot of payoff. Like even with like old five, where it's like, oh, they cut off his hand, and oh, like he got the tattoo, and it's like, oh, they're building up to him becoming the old man
Mhm.
in the machine or whatever, and then it gets to the end of the show and he has
Yeah.
his arm, and he does, I'm assuming he doesn't become that guy, and so it's like, well, what was the whole point of that? Like I get, I don't know, it was just it was all
Yeah.
over the place this season, so I just felt like it was they had these moments where it was like they were building up to something, where it was like that one season in the or that one scene in the last episode where Diego puts Lila in the closet, and I was like, oh, that's such an emotional scene where it's like, oh, I care about you and our unborn child, which again they kind of left that on the cliff's edge there too. Anyways, he puts her in the closet, and then literally the next scene
Yeah.
she gets out of the closet, and it's like, well,
Yeah.
what was the whole point of that scene? Like you had this big emotional
And then
thing,
10
and
seconds
then the
later.
next scene she gets out. So
Yeah.
yeah, literally. So it was a lot of that. Like they had, I think what they were planning was to have more episodes. It felt like they had more storyline that they wanted to tell, but they were limited by the 10 episode, I
Mhm.
don't know, rule. I guess I don't know. And they wanted to tell more of the story, and it just felt a little bit rushed at certain points. Um, Overall, I liked it. I watched it. On a rating, on a CGC rating, I'd probably give it like a 7.0, maybe a 6.5.
FN plus.
And that's just, I don't know. There was just too much. Yeah, FM. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Or wait,
FN
what?
plus.
No, yeah, FN plus.
That's
FN/VF.
fair, right?
Yeah,
What the hell does
yeah.
FN mean?
Fine or
Oh,
fine
fine.
plus.
Fine, very okay, yeah, duh, that
Very
makes sense.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, those are my thoughts. Those are my, yeah, I don't know. There's just too many unanswered questions, and even if they have a one last season, they have so many questions that they need to answer. Otherwise, it's like you lost me.
It's
So
fair.
yeah,
You had
we'll see.
questions?
We'll see if they get greenlit again. Like, what were my questions? I don't even remember. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm trying to think. I did have a question. I don't remember what it was though. Um, Dang, I lost it. Oh well, I lost it. It's gone. Gone forever. Into the
Into the
ether.
ether.
The
Well, I
ether.
can tell you about how different it was
Yeah. I mean,
from the, like, comic and
okay.
stuff
Yeah,
like
go for
that.
it.
And just to touch up on because you said you like the kind of the mystery to it all and whatnot. And the comic book has, I think you would very much enjoy the comic book because that has just a crazy amount of just like not that it's unanswered so to speak, but like it's just there. Like there are so many more people with powers in the comics. Like Pogo. Okay,
Okay.
Pogo is a completely normal thing. There's so many talking chimps in Umbrella Academy, and it's just completely normal. Like it's at one point in the actual Hotel Oblivion comic or series, they mention they find this one guy that got lost in space and whatnot. It's this whole thing that they never really touched up on. But like it's like, oh, we figured he got attacked by the Martian simians and stuff like that. So I guess there's just monkeys on Mars, and they never really cover that. But Mars is full of monkeys. It's just
Nice.
crazy random stuff like that that I love about the comic, but they just kind of like gloss over it, like, "Yep, that's normal," and it's just kind of like a cool way to establish the universe. Uh, just to
Hmm,
touch up on what you were saying. But man, is this so much different from the comic? Uh, I would say if you didn't like this season, absolutely go read the comics. It's completely different. There's stuff that the show does better, but there's if we're doing verses, the comic does a lot of stuff better than the show.
fair
Uh,
enough.
Pretty much the way it goes in the comics is the Sparrow Academy is not introduced until like the very last few pages. The
Okay.
Sparrow Academy is not like some different timeline thing. It was put together by the mom, the robot mom, and the and a guy named Deaver. They like
Okay.
Deaver was this other millionaire person, I think. I don't know if he's directly related with the Sparrow Academy, but he kind of like discusses it with Vanya. And so they they put together their own little Umbrella Academy.
Team.
Yeah.
Got
For the most part, the characters in the Sparrow Academy are like the exact same.
it. Okay.
Um, you don't really get to see too many of them. Like you see, Christopher is a box in the comic. He's just this cube.
Okay.
You don't get to see his powers or anything like that. You only get to see, I think, like three or no, four of their powers. I think no, three of their powers. No, four. I'm sorry. Number one is just super strong, and that was the same in the
Okay.
comic.
Yeah, that was literally it.
Um, the chick that spits venom or whatever. I
Uh-huh.
don't remember what number she is. In the comics, that's a dude, and he has like laser vomit or something like that.
Okay.
Where it's like again, you
Kind of
you
like that better.
barely see these powers, but like because they swoop in at the last second to save the Umbrella Academy. So like you just see like this dude like spitting out this laser beam out of his mouth, and it's hitting a villain.
Nice.
Um, the chick with the crows, I think she can. Her power is that she can actually turn into crows.
Oh, okay.
So like she like turns
That's
into a
cool.
murder of crows, and then they can just go and attack people and stuff like that. I think. Again, they don't really get to show it. The other
Yeah.
dude, the dude whose power I kind of like,
The vomit guy or the guy that looks like a
yes, the
blob.
blob guy. I don't remember his name either. Uh, nope, I was trying to.
Yeah,
I
me
can't
neither.
do it. I like his power. His power in the comics is kind of like the reverse of that, I think.
Where he punches himself and that hurts them.
Exactly. He'll aim his hand at people. Like in the comics, he throws his hand or like casts his gaze upon these villains, and then he like stabs himself on the side, and then all the villains suddenly like get stabbed and like fall over,
Oh,
and
nice.
then he just kind of
That's cool.
reheals. I thought that was a super
Is he
cool
a
power.
blob in the comic too?
Yeah, more so. Like he doesn't even have like a face. It's literally just like a melted, like
Okay.
an army man that got melted.
That's funny.
But yeah, they're pretty spot on with that kind of stuff. Um, as far as the Sparrow Academy goes, and I don't know if they're supposed to be bad, but again, that's where book three or volume three leaves off on is them meeting. So you
Gerard
have no
Way.
idea if they're going to fight each other or not. Uh, but I believe that Vanya is supposed to be teaming up with them because
Okay.
Vanya's story is a lot different. It's not as much of like a redeeming arc. Uh,
He's still a villain.
she's not still a villain, but like she was a villain in volume one, and then like she essentially gets like crippled and turned into like she can't walk and stuff like that.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, and then volume three, mom is like really attached to her and stuff like that. Mom's like her own character.
Nice.
Grace, right?
She's not like the
I think Grace.
yeah. She's not like the weird. I don't know. That was another weird thing. She just started randomly worshiping the Bob or whatever it was.
Yeah, I mean, she does kind of believe in like a higher power because she wears like a cross necklace and then gives Vanya a cross necklace. It's this whole thing again. I'm sure there's a lot
Oh,
more
robot.
meaning to all this stuff, but they don't really ever cover it. Uh,
Is she a robot?
yeah, she's like a robot, um, and like she changes out her parts and stuff like that. So when she's like going around the house, it's like
Hmm,
I don't know, it's weird. It's like the underside of those like really fancy wedding dresses. So it's like
okay.
wires and stuff like that, and then there's like some organs in the middle of those wires, and then there's just like her face.
Weird.
Yeah, she's creepy.
Interesting.
Um, but yeah, in the comics, Hotel Oblivion is a jail. It houses
Okay.
it's so Hargreaves, whenever the Umbrella Academy, and again the Umbrella Academy went on for a while. They like well into their teenage years and stuff like that before they all
Yeah.
disbanded. Um, Whenever they would defeat a villain, which there's so many villains, I just wish that some of them would have been covered in the actual show. Whenever they did defeat a villain, Hargreaves would take that villain and send them to Hotel Oblivion.
The Hotel Oblivion.
Uh,
That's cool.
as in, he would say murder is too easy and it's too messy. Hotel Oblivion, you can redeem yourself. You get your own room. You get fed every day and stuff like that. Um,
Nice. Sounds like a great place.
Except you don't, and they feed you like cockroaches.
Nice.
They feed you just enough to keep you alive, and it's like a terrible, horrible, like Russian,
Oh.
like on borderline on like a gulag essentially.
Yeah.
Uh,
That's nice.
but yeah, so like that whole thing
Sounds
is
like a
it's
lovely
following
place.
in the actual like volume 3, it's following this dude named Perseus, and he wants to get into Hotel Oblivion to find his dad, who was a supervillain. Uh,
Oh,
and he finds
that's
his
cool.
dad. He eventually gets into it because two people from Hotel Oblivion manage to escape. Murder Magician and Obscura. Which
Obscura.
again, like all these villains, they're just so cool and unique, but they're never covered in the show. And I wish they would have been covered in the show. Like Obscura is like this
Yeah.
dude who's like a cyborg, but like so he has like a robotic eye, but his robotic eye is like an old 1950s camera. And so like he can change the lenses on it, and like
That's funny.
laser beams come out of it and stuff like that, or he can use X-ray vision and whatnot.
That's
And the
cool.
Murder Magician is just a magician.
A
Yeah.
murder magician. Yeah.
Um, there's so much more in the comics. It's
Clever.
crazy. But all these villains and stuff like that, they're in Hotel Oblivion. But Murder Magician and Obscura escape, and then Perseus finds them because Perseus has like the only way the only portal into Hotel Oblivion. So then they're able to help him get into Hotel Oblivion. He finds out his dad's dead, and then so he
Nice.
takes this little like this Medusa thing. His dad was Perseus 9 or whatever, who used like this robotic Medusa head to like laser beam people away. Uh, Again, I know this is a lot, but it's there's just so much different from the show.
Right.
Uh,
Yeah.
and so as Perseus is leaving with this Medusa head and he's becoming the new supervillain, he lets out all these villains, and all these villains are now loose in New York, and the Umbrella Academy has to team up to essentially fight all these villains.
That's
And
nice.
this, so there is no Googleplex,
Yeah. Whatever that was.
but there is a villain called Terminal, which he like absorbs everything into this black hole in his stomach, and he just starts getting bigger and bigger. At the end of Hotel Oblivion, he's like sucking up the entire city, like buildings are going in. It's like an apocalyptic thing. So that I
Yeah.
see what they were kind of trying to do with that. It's kind of like I don't know. It's similar, I guess. And then they stop him by throwing in the Medusa head and stuff like that. But then, that saves the day, and they stop the world from ending in the comic. But then all these other villains start kicking their butts, and that's when the Sparrow Academy swings in to save them all.
Well, that's nice. I mean, it sounds a lot
Yeah,
better.
it's
I don't know.
it's a lot
There's
more
just
interesting, and just looking at all these
yeah,
villains, you're just like you want to know so much more about these villains. Like
yeah.
there's these like they never bring them up, they never get a name or anything like that, but like there's this man and a woman that they're dressed up like Bonnie and Clyde, but one of them has like a moon face and one of them has like a sun face. And I love it. I love so much of the stuff they do with that, where it's just like random, like you want to know more about everything in there, but you don't. You won't get to know.
That's too bad.
And I like that. I kind of want to do that myself in our comics. I want to just, I want to show random like people in nightclubs or something like that with superpowers, like random paras in our comics that just never really get any attention, but they're just there in the background.
That's nice. Yeah, that'd be
But,
cool.
but yeah,
I don't know. I
that's
mean, the way that I was saying it, like, it's just like, you know, I don't know. Like the whole thing with the Kugel Blitz and like the whole Project Oblivion, like I just man, like with what's his name? Hargreaves. I was like, well, how'd you figure out about this? What was the whole purpose of you wanting to fulfill the Hotel Oblivion? Because it seemed like even before the Kugel Blitz, he just wanted to do, Project Oblivion.
Mhm.
Like, why? I don't know. The world wasn't necessarily ending, and it seems like it has something to do with that woman. Who is she? I don't know. And will we figure it out? Who knows? I
Probably
don't
not.
know. It was just, yeah, probably not.
Oh yeah,
So,
the other thing
anyways, I all that to say, I still enjoyed it.
is the Hotel Oblivion. Well, it's a jail. It's actually he sends all those prisoners there because they're supposed to be bait for this gigantic tentacle monster. That is
Nice. Is it the one that's
it
in
is the
Ben's
one that's
stomach?
in Ben, and when Ben died, I guess now that
Came
monster's on the
alive
loose,
or came out?
and so he was supposed to feed on all
Nice.
those villains, but they all escaped, and so I guess that's where the comic book's heading. But I genuinely don't think it'll ever be finished.
No, because then they start that side
It
comic with
did.
what's his name?
You look like death with
Seance.
Klaus/Seance.
Is that still going on, or did that ever end?
It ended. It was like a mini series. They have like a volume out or a trade paperback out now for it. Uh, which that's the other thing is, man, Seance is
You look like death.
super overpowered in the comics, but we won't get into that.
Let me see. Umbrella Academy comic.
Comic.
Cabinet
But yeah, I
comics.
don't think the show needs to continue, but I definitely think the comic needs to continue. But I don't know if it ever will. Maybe if the show doesn't, he'll have more
We'll
time on his
we'll
hands,
we'll see. Yeah. Well, I mean, what else is he doing?
writing music or something.
I don't think so. I mean, that band's been broken up for
That's it.
years. So
Uh,
yes.
I don't follow it. I follow his comics.
Yeah. Well, you're a fake fan then.
Yeah.
You
Okay.
need to know everything about Gerard Way. You need to go stalk him outside his house and ask him why he hasn't finished writing it yet.
I mean, he does have a pop figure, so he is pretty important.
He is. If you have a pop figure, that's
That's
how
how
you
you know
know if
you've
you've
made
made
it.
it. Maybe he's gonna be like J.R. Martin. He's never gonna finish it. He's gonna be on that list of just authors that don't finish their
It's
creations.
George, by the way.
And I have a feeling that we're gonna be on that list. Whatever, it doesn't matter. You know
I
who I'm
do.
talking about.
Yeah, probably.
And we're gonna be on that list too.
I don't know if we can make that list. I don't think we're
Probably
big
you
enough to
before
make
me.
that list.
Eh, I mean, it's not really a list of how big you are. It's just a list of authors that haven't finished their books.
Fair enough. Anyway, um, are we done talking about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're done talking
Okay, I
about
forgot
that.
we were doing a show. That's how these usually go. I went off on a long
Yeah, me
tangent
too.
on the comic books. Go read the comic books, please. They're really good. You'll love all the characters. They're fantastic.
They're all right. Don't read them.
Don't listen to him.
Trust me,
Yeah,
I'm
don't
a
listen to him. He
expert
can't read.
on this. I've read it. I've read every single issue, and they're doo doo.
What's
You
Luther's
you
other
can take
name?
my word for it.
Damn
Space
it.
Boy.
What's
Yeah,
Diego's?
I
What's
knew that one.
Diego's?
Kraken.
Are you looking these up?
No,
Are you?
I'm not.
What's Ben's?
Actually, I don't know the
That was
creature.
close. It's horror. The horror.
The horror.
and then rumor, and then 5 didn't get
I
one,
had it.
and then seance, and
Hang on.
Vanya didn't get one.
She got the white
The
the
white
white
violin, but
something,
that's like
right?
her villain name.
I mean, it's a name
It's true.
nonetheless.
All right. Well,
Gerard Way's got places he's gonna go with the next graphic novel, and I know a little bit of that. We've come to this really short, sort of wonderful understanding where the two medias are symbiotic. He often finds the sum of these things we do influence. Da, 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 da. Okay, this didn't answer my question. Okay, we have no answer.
cool.
We have no answer as to whether or
Let's
not the
just
comic
say
will continue.
maybe.
So, too bad. Let's just say
Okay, I
no.
mean,
That way you don't have your
that's
hopes
you know
up.
what, that's fair. How's it go with MJ? Expect the worst
Who?
and you can never be, was it?
Who?
No,
Michael Jackson?
Mary Jane. Sorry, her name wasn't Mary Jane. Michelle Jones.
Oh, Michelle
What
Jones.
what did
That's
she say?
right.
Expect the worst.
She says something
Expect
or
the
the other.
worst so you can't be let down or something
Expect the
like that. I don't
worst.
remember. That came out
There you
during our
go.
very brief hiatus.
It did. I mean, yeah, very brief. Like we're talking about
Well,
maybe
let's
two
save that for
days
another day, but man, was
hiatus.
was that an
Anyways,
experience seeing that movie. That was
that was
no,
that was
I
a good
mean,
movie.
no, the
Watch it
leading
right
up
now.
to it. Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
there you go.
oh, the
There you go.
adventure that
There you
we
go.
had. Yeah, we'll talk about that on a different day. We'll talk about that in our adventure to Colorado on a
Yes.
separate
We can
podcast
probably make it
episode.
either the next
We'll
one or
have
the one
clips
after
for
that.
that. Yeah, we can talk about that
Oh yeah.
next.
Let's move
Anyways,
on.
let's
We
wrap
uh
this
we
up.
talked a lot
Let's
about, you know, other stuff that came out. Let's talk about us cuz we're kind of more important than all that other stuff, than all the Disney
yeah,
stuff and
we're
whatnot.
definitely way more important than Star
Yeah,
Wars and Stranger Things. We rank way
yeah,
higher than that. I mean, Disney doesn't even
it's true. It's
compare to
absolutely
Covenant
true. They
Comics.
wish. Yeah.
Disney's small game in comparison to us. Yeah, we got an
Yeah. Have you
animation, all
seen it? You're
right.
watching it right now. I bet you Disney doesn't have an animation.
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, Disney doesn't have anywhere
Yeah.
close to
We have
animation.
animation. There it is. Look at that. Ether, he just threw a snowball. I don't know if that actually happened, but if I talk long enough, oh, yep, he threw a snowball.
Crossbones is touching the
He's tapping.
desk.
He's bored. He looks so
Yeah,
bored.
he
Both
is.
our characters
Just
look
as
so bored in this animation. I love it.
that's basically
It
us.
is us. That's why I love it so
Anyways,
much.
moving on. Hurry up. Let's get to the end of this thing.
That's true. It's been about an hour and like 40 minutes.
Yes.
So we're gonna be honest with you. During our brief hiatus, not too much came out. we
Yeah, we produced nothing.
we
We had creative constipation, as you would
we
call it.
did, which again, it was a brief hiatus. We had
Yeah, just a
another
couple
issue
days.
of Burlap came out and whatnot. That was towards the end of the year, 2021. Again, brief hiatus.
Brief.
Uh, but that was kind of like one of the only things since our last episode
Yeah.
and whatnot, which is pretty rough. But and
No.
we're
Yeah.
still kind of constipated. We have a lot of things, not a lot. Well, yeah, we've got about a good three-ish things
We got
on the
things in the
back burner.
pipeline.
Um,
Yeah. We're
but
not dead yet. I know that a
yeah,
lot of you gave up hope on us.
yeah,
We're alive and well. How dare
yeah,
you? First of all. Second of all, subscribe.
yeah. Subscribe. What are you doing? Also, go read our comics. What's wrong with you? Gosh, some super fan
What are
you
you
are.
illiterate? What are you
I
ignorant?
mean,
What are you
you're like an hour
what are
and
you
40 minutes into our podcast. You could have read the
yeah, what are
comics
you
we
doing?
have like
What are
18
you
times by now.
It's true.
Read our comics.
Don't read ether. That one's dumb.
Well, hey now. He has more
Yeah, I'm a
animation, all
rock
right?
star. Get your game on. Uh.
That's exactly what my girlfriend does.
Sorry. Anyways, so we got stuff in the pipeline.
Yeah.
The next project that we have coming out it'll be coming out hopefully in the next month or
Yeah.
so. And we'll be promoting it, and it's a big one.
It
It
is.
is well worth the wait. At least I personally think. You know, it's a big one. And do you wanna announce that, or do you
Yeah.
wanna?
I mean, we
I mean,
got to
it's
give
already
him
been
something.
technically been announced. Like
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we got to give them something. I mean,
Go ahead.
they've stuck around for an hour and 40 minutes. Um,
Go ahead.
so
Go
yeah,
ahead. Let them. Let them know.
we've had a lot of stuff in the back burner. Three things to be specific. And it's funny because they're all kind of wrapping up at the same time, which
True.
is ridiculous. But the biggest one by far is our project Year of the Covenant.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Year of the Covenant was actually supposed to happen in around December.
Beginning of this year.
Yeah, December slash the beginning of this year. And
Hence, Year of the
yeah,
Covenant
and here we are
name.
in July.
Yeah.
You know, uh, stuff happens.
As you do.
Artists conflicts and stuff like that. We're still, all the artists on board and stuff like that are amazing and wonderful. It's just, you know, an artist got COVID here and there. Certain, things had to be redone, and it was just, yeah, it's been a uphill battle,
Yeah.
we'll say.
Life. Life happens.
Yeah, life
As
happened
they
as it often
say,
does.
life happens.
Yeah. But yeah, Year of the
But
Covenant.
it's coming though.
That's one thing that we haven't talked about on our podcast since we took a brief hiatus. This will be
Yeah.
our first book featuring all three of our characters. Keep in mind, it's not a crossover. Like, they aren't going to be, battling dudes side by side and whatnot, and, meeting up for
Not
the first
yet.
time and fighting each other like Captain America or sorry, like
Winter
Iron,
Soldier.
yeah, like Iron Man and Thor when they first see each other. It's not going to be like any of that fun stuff. It's, but they are all featured in this book. It's to show how each of them are reacting to certain events and stuff like that, like a one moment and whatnot. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of like showing what each of them have gone through in their lives and stuff like that, kind of tying with a common theme. And we're
Yeah.
also introducing two brand new characters, uh, Beacon and Abaddon. Uh, JD is actually the one that came up with Beacon, so if you want to give a little talkie to of him real quick.
Well, Beacon is like essentially our Covenant unit. Yeah, the kind of Covenant universe's like Superman. Like he is your, knight in shining armor, coming right at the right time to save the right person at the right time in the right way. Who inspires people to be better than who they are. To rise above the situation. And yeah, I mean that's who he is. He's our beacon of hope, hence the name
Yeah,
Beacon. The universe, or rather, not the universe, but rather the world looks to him with, hope in their eyes and the like, and he, has these cool, obvious, powers of flight and durability, all the cool ones, he's able to control light and shoot beams of light and all that fun stuff. um, but yeah, he's our Superman. He's our heavy hitter, and can't wait to show him to you in this book.
yeah, and
So
he's a
yeah,
fun
and
character to
then
show off
obviously
because he's very he's he's essentially like the not the opposite of our characters, but he's our characters aren't exactly picture perfect heroes. So he kind of stands to show an example, like of what our characters could be, but they kind of aren't. He's essentially,
right,
he's a compare and contrast, I guess you would say.
yeah, night and
Yeah,
day.
exactly. And then the other character we
And as for
introduced, yeah,
Abaddon, why don't you introduce
yeah,
him?
I came up with a lot of his powers and stuff like that, and after JD came up with Abaddon, figured, well, we need, or sorry,
Mhm.
Beacon. When he came up with Beacon, we figured we needed a villain for Beacon. Everyone gets their villains and stuff like that. Burlap gets Cottontail. Crossbones gets
Yeah,
Inferno. Ether
you know,
gets a lot of different people, but a lot of different members of
not introduced
organizations.
yet.
Yeah.
Not introduced yet. Yeah, not
So
introduced yet.
we came up with Abaddon, who is the exact opposite of Beacon. He hates the light. He has the power of darkness and stuff like that, seeping into shadows and manifesting stuff out of pitch darkness. Uh, he kind of like can contend with Beacon and stuff like that. Maybe not super strength, but he's durable and whatnot, and just an all around kind of
Gummy guy.
slimy, kind of greasy guy. Think of
Yeah.
someone who like hates the sun, who never goes out in the sun, who just he wants his whole goal is to just essentially like stop light on Earth forever. Like he wants to cover the world in darkness.
I think it's a reasonable
Yeah. I
request, don't
mean,
you?
the sun is kind of irritating some days. I have
Yeah.
gotten
It causes
sunburn.
cancer. Maybe he's onto
It
something.
does. It does.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, yeah,
Let's do something about that.
he's trying to do something about that. But yes, those are our two
Oh,
new characters that will be introduced in this book, along with, getting to see all of our older characters. And yeah, just showing them off. You'll get to see them fighting stuff, and it'll be cool. Lots of action in this comic, and we think you'll genuinely
yeah, I'm
enjoy it if you
curious.
enjoy all of our other stuff.
Yeah. And we'll be doing the Kickstarter hopefully in the next month or two.
Hopefully.
So be on the lookout for notifications with that.
Yeah,
We plan to do like contests and other sorts of fun things with that as well. So be on the lookout, for this comic. I think that you don't want to miss it. It'll be
it's
fun.
true.
But as for our other projects, we have two other projects in the pipeline. Why don't you start with yours
Yeah,
first?
so as you all know, Ether 2 introduced the wonderful art of Santiago Baquin, and I just absolutely love his art. I love his style, and it's kind of what I wanted for Ether. And so Santiago became like the permanent Ether artist, like just stapled in, like signed him on. I told him, hey,
Yeah,
do you want to do this? Continue to do this project? I love you on the Ether, and I want you to, this is your
you're
child.
welcome.
And he agreed. He's like, yep, I love doing Ether. I have a lot of fun with this. I have no problem being the permanent artist. And so with that, I had made the difficult choice. Uh, but made it nonetheless to have Santiago
Necessary choice. Yeah,
uh,
I think it was
do a
necessary.
remaster of issue one. Now, this is to
Yeah,
say nothing against the original artwork in Ether one. I loved it. It got Ether started. It got Ether off the ground and whatnot. I love
yeah,
David. He's fantastic, Mr. Sharonik. He's just a wonderful artist, a great guy, and it has nothing to do with him whatsoever. It's just that with Santiago being my permanent artist now, I wanted to essentially have the artwork be the same throughout. I wanted someone to pick up issue one and then be able to pick up issue like 20, and they'll be the exact same artwork. It's continuity and stuff like that. You know what you're getting from the get go. So I had
yeah.
Santiago
That
go
makes
back
sense.
through and redo issue one,
Right.
and it
Yeah.
looks fantastic.
With some new
Yeah.
details. Yeah, it looks
Uh,
great. So,
yeah.
and when are you planning on releasing that?
Um, Pretty much right now it's in the coloring phase. Our wonderful, amazing Beatrice Navarro. She at this moment, I think she just finished page 11 out of 26. Uh, so I'm not sure when that'll wrap up, but when it does, not long after that, maybe like a few weeks after that, I will launch a
Yeah.
quick
Give some
starter.
time for marketing.
Yeah, leave some time for marketing stuff like that.
And what is
A
a quick
quick
start?
starter is two
What's a quick start?
weeks of a Kickstarter, so it's in the name. It's a quick starter. It's rather than a month or 2 months. You're just doing it in 2 weeks. You're just knocking it out. This is a project that I've already paid for. People have already got it in their hands in the past and whatnot. I've already done a Kickstarter for issue one, so I didn't want to do this whole month-long thing trying to rack up a bunch of money and whatnot. The point of this quick starter will legitimately, all the funds will just be going to print.
For
Yeah.
printing.
And then
Right.
just I want to do a quick starter so that if people are new to Ether or if people had issue one, they can get their hands on this remaster. And yeah, it's the most effective way to
Yeah.
just make sure I get these new copies printed and yeah, have them for future events and whatnot.
Very good.
And yeah, I'm loving it, and
I
you'll
think it's
absolutely love
really
it
cool.
too if you love Ether, and especially if you loved issue two with all the incredible artwork and stuff like that, the effects, the neon glows and whatnot, and just the more cartoony stylization. You will absolutely love this remaster as much as I am.
Yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, it looks great. Seeing the pages and
it does
everything,
look great.
so be on the lookout for that. Now, as for
Yeah,
the
and then
last project,
the last
yeah,
one,
that's
I'll
month.
introduce it.
Okay, you introduce it. You tell us all about
Yeah, no, no, no. But the last project is uh is a wonderful fifth issue
it. Yeah.
made by our very own JD Gonzalez. Why don't you tell us about it?
Yeah. So, Crossbones issue 5 is coming out. It
Yes,
is
sir.
completely finished. Cover, pages. I just need to letter it. It's the only thing that needs to be done, but otherwise, all the interior and exterior artwork is completely finished. I've already begun lettering it, so it doesn't really take me that long. Maybe give me a week or so, and it's done. Um, but yeah, it is completely finished. And as I look back at the past and our, again, our very brief hiatus, it's been over a year since the release of issue 4, which is not necessarily the timeline that I wanted for this series, but here we are.
Yeah,
It is 30 something pages long, so I think it's well worth the wait. It's action packed. It continues the storyline of Crossbones and the city of San Diablo, and the cartel and all the going ons inside of this split in half city. It's a
you get some
beautiful,
background.
beautiful. Yep, get some background information. Get some. It's a origin story, it's a continuation story, it's an all-around awesome story, but more so than that, it's a beautiful book. Roman did an absolutely amazing job in this book. I think that every time he comes back, he always goes above and beyond, and he knocks it way out of the park. um, and he did the exact same thing for this issue as well. So I cannot wait to share this
And
book
this animation
with
that's
you all,
playing.
especially, and this animation. Yeah, he did do this animation for us. So yeah, every time we work with Roman, every time I work with Roman, he's such a pleasure to work with. So I cannot wait to share this book with you. Timeline wise, I'm thinking as soon as the Year of Covenant is out, we're going to start promoting for this book. We're going to be doing a normal Kickstarter for this one. So hopefully, maybe in the next 3 to 4 months, you'll be seeing more and more Crossbones, being promoted, and a lot more hype around the book. So yeah, if you are a Crossbones fan or if you're a new fan to the series, I am super excited to share this book with you. Can't wait. So yeah, those are our 3 projects coming out so far. So we
Yeah,
have Year of Covenant, Ether, and Crossbones. So
yeah. And I've
be on the
gotten to see a lot
lookout
of
for
the
that.
artwork
And
for
again,
Crossbones 5, and I
you've
think
pretty
you'll
much
all
seen the
love
whole
it.
book.
Yeah, I've pretty
Yeah,
much seen the whole book. I just haven't read it yet. But
yeah,
if
need
this
to letter
isn't
it.
too spoilery, and hopefully you don't get angry at me, uh,
I'm pissed.
if you got like a nice craving for John Wick, I think you'll really like this one.
It's a good one.
Is that okay to
It's a
say?
good one. That's a nice little, yeah, that's a nice little hint. I like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
mean
yeah.
that's a little taste for your taste buds.
Yeah.
A lot of action in this book.
Oh yes. I'm a very big fan.
Oh yes. But anyway,
But
so yeah, those are our books that we have coming out, our projects coming out. Obviously, we'll be doing promoting for these things. So again, be on the lookout. We'll be keeping you posted on every single one of these projects. So make sure you subscribe. Make sure you're following us on social media, and make sure you're just keeping up. As for the podcast, we're going to be trying to do this on a weekly basis, but we'll see how that goes.
yeah.
Um,
The goal is to keep it on a weekly basis,
yeah,
since that it's literally just recording in our own homes and stuff like that. So it's supposed to be a lot easier.
yeah,
I'm hoping that
yeah.
next time we do this, we can talk about Thor, as it'll be coming out.
Be out.
I think this Friday, right? 8th, right?
Yeah,
I think.
the 8th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Comes out this week. So hopefully we'll be talking about that
We'll do a
next
spoiler-free
episode. Yeah,
version of this
absolutely.
because we did a lot of spoiling today, so we'll
Yeah.
try to avoid it in the future.
Well, yeah, especially with
Make
a
sure that we're
movie.
not doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Something that
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
everyone can see right away. And yeah, hopefully we'll
Right.
talk about Thor and stuff like that. And then during our brief hiatus, we also went to some conventions, so we definitely want to go over that and just
Yep.
talk about our
That's
experiences
true.
and the amazing people we met. So stay tuned and look for that next time. But yeah, I
Yep.
think it's just about time to wrap up this. Yeah, pretty much 2 hour
Almost
episode.
2 hours.
Yep.
So if you're still here, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you,
Subscribe
one
if you haven't
viewer.
already, and yeah, thank you, Mr.
I was
Bear.
gonna say thank you, Mr. Bear, for sticking through to the end.
Thanks, Mom.
Your mom watches this?
I don't know. I doubt it, but
Uh,
we'll see.
brother, if you're still here.
Yeah,
Brother's
hi.
wife,
How you doing?
sister-in-law, if you're still here, thank you.
Thank you.
And those are
And thank
our
you,
four
America.
viewers. And thank you, America.
What is it? Stay classy, San Diego.
Yeah. Now, if you didn't skip ahead earlier, enjoy our amazing outro song that's about to start playing. Thank you all very much for joining us after
Right
this
now.
brief
Play it.
hiatus. And love you all very much and see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Love you.